This is my Psychology in My Life assignment by Kira Richard-Dollar. Here's an overview of the presentation. For this assignment, we were told to pick 3 discussion posts for Psychology in My Life and expand on how we think we can relate them to our future career field. So I picked my top 3 Psychology in My Life discussions, and I will be expanding on these ideas on each of these slides. The discussions or assignments used are the week 5 assignment we had to do for sensory illusion, the week 11 discussion on personalities, and the week 12 assignment for the power of the situation. As you can see, I inputted a picture of the brain here because this is psychology. Okay, so for week 5, sensory illusion discussion. This topic relates more to the people that I might be helping than about me personally, but I thought it would be a good addition to this project because it will go more in depth as to how inattentional blindness could cause someone to accidentally commit a crime when they really don't mean to. Inattentional blindness, as you know, is when you can fail to notice very obvious things when your attention is focused elsewhere. There's a citation there. This relates to my future career field in forensic psychology because I have to be able to understand why they may commit a crime, and this may be one of the reasons. Let's say someone was texting while driving and accidentally ran a red light or a stop sign and hit someone. The reason that happened was because of inattentional blindness. They failed to see the person and the red light/stop sign because their attention was focused more on their phone than their surroundings, which caused them to then hit the person, which is a crime. For the week 11 personality assignment, I discussed Carl Rogers' theory of the self and how I could apply it to my future field as a forensic psychologist. Here's a brief summary of this discussion. Carl Rogers' ideas about personality are very important to my future career path for many reasons. One being his ideas of self-concept, our thoughts and feelings about ourselves. This also relates to it because in psychology, you need to be able to learn about the people and how their brains work. And the idea of self versus real self, the person you want to be versus the person who you really are. This relates to my future career because I will be working around people who have committed crimes, and some of the ways that they may justify it is by not seeing their real selves as someone who could have committed a crime, when really there's some incongruence between their idea selves and real selves. Incongruence is when the person you want to be is vastly different from who you really are. If they have an incongruence, it might be able to help explain why they were driven to commit the crimes in the first place. And if it does, it can help me figure out how to help them with whatever they're struggling with. For this last slide, it is week 12, the power of the situation / groupthink discussion. I applied groupthink to this one because I think it could come in especially handy in understanding why people could commit crimes due to peer pressure and other things. In groupthink, which is the modification of the opinions of members of a group to align with what they believe is the group consensus, an example of groupthink that I think can align with my future career choice is when the opinions of other people in the group can force someone to do something they might not want to be doing, like peer pressure them to vandalize something and then they end up getting arrested for it, like commit a crime. The voices of the others in the group can change the way that they think about something they otherwise wouldn't even have considered if it hadn't been for the group's thoughts about it. Like when you're peer pressured, you find yourself wanting to do things you wouldn't normally do to please the group, like a crime, potentially. And I think that it's better to know their motivation behind committing their crimes, because then you can help them with it. These are my references. I have some Simply Psychology. It taught me about Carl Rogers' theory more in depth. An article on groupthink by Psychology Today, because I thought it would be better to read more into groupthink so I could really understand what I was writing for my slide. And obviously the psychology textbook that I found very informational because it gave us all of the information that I needed, and as you can tell, most of the citations in there are from that book. Thank you so much for listening. I'm Kira Richard-Dollar.